What I'm asking when Nomeva is, Dixie says, hey, I offered you half.
Yes.
And your lawyers declined.
It was also when Dixie was defending himself, saying that I offered Nomeva this much and he declined.
And your lawyers never said to you, Dixie's offering half.
Yeah, they did.
So
not.
Dixie just says to you, I offered you half, and your lawyers declined.
Yes.
And your lawyers never said anything to you.
They never said anything to me.
It's Sports Amplified with Andile. I am Andile Ncube on the mighty Metro FM, alongside Timothy Miranda, the producer of the show, Malcolm Glovu, who is the tech producer of the show, Tech Imaging by Tabonkwala, and Biso Snaps, doing all things media for us. Today is an interesting day because today we complete a story we started last week. Although I've got a feeling it's not going to be anywhere near completion. It's not. Because at the end of today's show, Nomeva's not going to walk away with $1 million. You know? He's not going to have his $1 million to walk away with. You know? So people on the window there, Ashelim Klopp and his beautiful wife, Ibo, he just greetings there. He's not going to walk away with his 1 million rand. At all. So it can't be that the story will be complete today. But we have a big chunk of what the story was. The Eastern Cape government, who feel they've labored at this, I feel they have not. Nomeva's here with us, the boxer. We spoke to him last week on the phone. He was with his family on the way home. He's in the studio today and we'll be speaking to him. I'll let you, then there's the Dixie factor as well, Dixie Mola. And I'll speak to that as well. But firstly, I want to go to a little bit of current news. And, you know, they say football is a passionate sport. It's a sport of passion. It's a sport of kings and queens. It's a beautiful game. And the one thing that makes football what it is there's huge rivalries. And the one rivalry, which is a new thing that's been created in South African football, has to be Mamelodi Sundowns versus TS Galaxy. It's a huge rivalry. The two coaches can't stand each other from what it seems. Although Coach Xolisani has come out and said, no, he called Coach R1mil and they had a conversation and things are sorted. I have never heard what I heard at a press conference today. It was the first time that I'd heard such language at a press conference. R1mil saying that he did receive a call from R1mil and going on to share the contents of what that call was. I've got it. Let's take a break and I'll share it with you. Later on, if you feel you need to comment on it, it's 086-000-2160, WhatsApp on 060-552-7303. It's exactly 13 after the hour 6. It is Nedbank season at the moment in the DStv Premiership. And at a press conference a little bit earlier, I saw a tweet from Mazolo Molefe who said, hey, things are hectic here. There's bombs being thrown around. And I said, hey, let's hear it. And this is R1mil explaining the phone call that he received from Coach R1mil.
If somebody, doesn't matter who it is, disrespect my players, disrespect the value of his club, and this is what he did. I will not let anyone, and please tell your coach, stop to undermine your colleagues and their work. What happened? I got a call from him during the bus driving to Mbombela. I picked up the phone and he started to yell, to scream, and he told me I will just make it short because he talked 10 minutes or entertained me with a lot of nonsense. But what he told me, it was, who the are you to come to my country? I just quote him. He said again, who the are you to come into my country and talk to me like this? Do you know who my parents are? Be careful how you talk because you are in my country. After that, I told him that I don't care who your parents are, and then he hanged the phone.
That is a coach of TS Galaxy relaying a conversation that he says happened between himself and R1mil, coach of Mamelodi Sundowns, when he gave him a call. I was not on that call. So, it's Coach R1mil says he gave him a call. And the feeling I got out of that was that there's some sort of, I don't want to say truce, but there was an amicable understanding and a parting of ways at the end of that conversation. Coach R1mil says the absolute opposite. It's a he said, she said conversation, or he said conversation in this part, and I'll leave it to you. Okay, I'll leave it to you on this here. I do know that there's going to be many conversations, of course, with the two having the Nedbank Cup in front of us at the moment, and the more they progress, Ndongeni has already progressed, the more these conversations will be had. So we will follow that one up. Mazola does come into the studio on Monday, so we'll have a conversation with him as well. It's 15 after the hour 6. Let's get back to our main story. Last week, Thursday, we had a conversation with one that wasn't, one that pained me when Nomeva came into the studio and spoke about the 1 million rands that he hasn't received as his win, his victory, his paycheck 9 years later. And Dixie said, hey, listen, I've attended to this. Dixie Ngol, of course, was the man and the vision behind PBL, which is the Pro Boxing League. Said, hey, listen, I've answered questions on this and I'm more than willing to. And at the bottom line of it, he said that 30 million was promised to him as sponsorship of the Pro Boxing League. 30 million rands promised to him from the Department of Economic, it was Economic, no team. I mean, we've got it here. I'll play it. Economic Development, I think it was. It was actually. The Economic Development as well as Arts, Culture and Sport. Together, they said, hey, 30 million is what you're going to get. And then they took it over to the Gambling Board, who were the agency that was supposed to now pay out the money. And the agency, the Gambling Board, then decided not to give him the money that was due to him according to the contract that he had signed as an SLA with the two departments. So they end up giving him 7 million instead of the 30 million. He says there were 3 trenches of 10 million that were supposed to come his way for this competition. It's not me. These are his words. And that money never came. So we went down the rabbit hole. We went down, we dug, we made calls, we spoke to people. We did what, we do here, a little bit of research. I'll tell you our findings. And then I had said to Dixie, come back in a week, send me the contract that says that you've got 30 million that was promised to you that never came, so that we can stop bothering you as the promoter. So we can stop bothering you as the brains behind this competition, because it means that our government has let one of our own down. They have stolen 1 million rand. The Eastern Cape government, if this is the case according to Dixie, then the Eastern Cape government and the two departments in particular have stolen 1 million rands from someone. They've stolen 1 million rands from some family's pocket. So show me that contract. To which he dilly-dallied. And I said to him, come back in a week and let's continue this. I'll give you what happened since then. But before that, here he is. He sits across from me. Goli?
Branza.
All right, champ? No, the grand, man. You're back in Joburg.
Back in Joburg. Yeah. When I came in here, you just said, today I'm not gonna walk out with 1 million. I'm like, ish. Yeah.
It's not gonna be easy, but we will not stop.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be easy, but we will not stop. A couple of months ago, we had a young boy who's South African who was stuck in a prison in Georgia, in a far country.
Yeah,
it didn't take us one phone call, 1 show, 2 shows, but after a couple of shows, a couple of phone calls, and the things that we do, he's free.
I listened to almost all the
Throwback Thursdays
shows. Yeah.
So I appreciate that, and we're gonna do the same here. But how are you? Are you well?
I'm good. I'm surviving. I can safely say I'm blessed. I'm still fine. Yeah, I have family to go to. I have things to do every day. So yeah, I'm good.
In our conversation with Dixie, you were on the call as well, so you heard everything.
Yes.
He said that you guys had a meeting on Monday. How did that meeting go?
Okay. Also about our meeting with Dixie, it was a meeting that we've been talking about. I was in America for some time, I think maybe 6 weeks. So he was obviously scheduling the meeting for us to meet when I come back. But when I came back, I had to go home to Eastern Cape. We now moved it to Monday, which is this week.
Following Monday.
Yes, so we met. The meeting with Brad Dixie is obviously he is promising to find a way of making the issue go away, which is fixing the problem and finding ways to make the payments to me. He's talking about the developments that he's having He's talking about the plans that he's got in mind to try and fix this thing. Obviously, some of them will have to help me being part of those solutions. So, so he's been talking to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's been talking to me, promising to pay the money all the time. He does not deny that he owes me money. He's always been saying that I would like to pay you the money. You know, I want to pay you the money, but obviously I can see the money is not there. I have been waiting. It's been obviously 9 years. You know, I do want the money. Yeah.
So
I
this
do want the
meeting,
money.
was it any
So-
different to any of the meetings you've had
so-
over the last 9 years?
So the meeting was because we don't have anything signed and saying that this is how things are going to go down, but we just talked about the updates that might happen and the things that are in progress or in process of what he's working on. So that's what we have at the moment. And
Nomeva, man, I just want to know. You've been meeting with Dixie because he hasn't run away.
yeah,
That must be very straightforward.
Yeah.
Dixie's never run away from
yeah,
this.
yeah,
He's said, I owe you R1 million
yes,
as an individual and as a business. The Pro Boxing League, owned by Dixie, owes you R1 million. In the 9 years that he's owed you this R1 million, you've had, I can imagine,
yeah,
tens and tens of meetings.
meetings.
Was this meeting any different to the meetings you've had before?
I think it was not that much different because there's been promises, but it is obviously maybe giving hope. I don't know if I can say that, but I've been hoping. Yeah, well, but it's obviously.
Has he ever thrown in like to say, Mandikale, Nancy 50, Nancy 20, Nancy 100?
So, what I know that happened when I still had people who were representing me, the lawyers, he tried to pay something that was maybe I think maybe half or quarter of the million. Back then, I think it was six years back. So my representative then declined, say they want it in full. So naye uyamanga loo nto uba he was trying to make payments ngaloo ndlela, but yangavunywa. So now I think he is maybe going to opt for that.
This is when you had
option
sent
again.
lawyers on him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So even the lawyers akho nto zibuye nayo ke yabo. So akho nto yenzekileyo. Zange ndifumane nesent from the million andikayifumani yawo. So andiyazi ke uba kuza kwenzeka ntoni yabo. I've been waiting and I've been patient, and I believe that when someone says to me, I want to pay you, I'm going to give you the money, can only believe that. There's nothing else I can do, because I cannot go and look for it anywhere else, but only listening to the person and understanding about whenever he is paying, he's going to pay.
Do you think maybe Utixi takes you for granted because uhleka naye niki lunch mos nihleke nixoxe athi nonza kunika imali uvume ni shake hands ni hage ahambe uhambe? Because I mean, if I owed you money and that was your and I understand that ba ilwane thukane, but I'm just wondering, but if that's the if that's the conversation and you're not setting lawyers on him because now you've run out of funds to even be busy with lawyers anymore.
Yeah. So, every time I see Ubratix, he seriously look like someone who wants to make things right. If he is doing that of taking me for granted, it might be something that is happening to him that I cannot see, but I cannot say anything for him, but then mali.
Lawyers act on the instruction of client.
Yes. You
are the client. You've asked your lawyers to act on your behalf. When they decline the amount of money that has been offered to you up, as a sort of payment, was that at your instruction?
No, not at all. So I didn't even know about that. Okay, firstly, my lawyers, after this thing of PBL and winning, myself, after not getting my money, I decided to stop boxing, because I didn't know. I didn't have anyone to go to. I didn't have anyone to fight for me. I didn't know who to blame. Even my trainer, the chief, I'm sure he did not have plans or anything to do, So
was the
I was
Premier
confused,
Boxing League versus you?
Yeah,
at
I
the
was
time?
confused. I stopped boxing. I went home, back to Mount Frey. And, someone who called me was calling Nathan, saying that you can't stop boxing. You need to come back to boxing. I'm going to try and get you someone to help you. I never went around looking for lawyers. I didn't even have an option to do that because I didn't know anything, about such things. Yeah, well, maybe it was not in my mind at the time. But he called me to come up to Joburg. So I came to Joburg, calling Nathan, and the lawyer was R1mil, or his office, or his partners. So he was also a promoter at the time. He's a promoter,
Yeah,
he's
still is a promoter.
So I think the agreement was them helping me with this money, a good Dixie, and also promoting me at the same time. But our boxing career and whatever work that we had did not go well.
So by year,
So after Singavananga, in terms of the promotion, I think by year because we never communicated.
So then, how do you know that Dixie offered half?
It was I was still with them when that happened.
So they came to you and said he offered half.
No, they did not come to me.
So how do you know?
Dixie told me and showed me whatever he sent them to say he was offering us there.
And then you saw them
And then
saying
the lawyers-
declining.
The lawyers, they declined.
And you saw all of
Because
it.
that's what... No, I saw it from Dixie's side.
And then did you see a letter from your lawyers
My
declining?
Lawyers, no.
So how do you know they
Not at
declined?
Because my lawyers also and I, we never communicated. We were not communicating.
What I'm asking when Nomeva is, Dixie says, hey, I offered you half.
Yes.
And your lawyers
I
declined.
It was also when Brad Dixie was defending himself, saying that I offered Nomeva this much, and he declined.
And your lawyers never said to you,
Yes, my
Dixie's
lawyers
offering half.
didn't- Yeah, they did
So
not.
Dixie just says to you,
Yes,
I offered you half, and your
yes,
lawyers declined.
Yes.
And your lawyers never said
And
anything
they
to
never
you.
said anything to me.
And you believe that?
I'm still gay. I don't know but who is right, who's not right. Because even today, my lawyers, they have never communicated with me.
I've got a
about
flying
anything.
pony I want to sell you.
Yeah.
I've got a flying horse I want to sell you, Nomeva, because I think you'll buy it. But nonetheless, let me play you something. If you want in context of this conversation, Dixie's not running away, although he sent us an email telling us that he will not be a part of the show today. Where is it? It's right here. In response regarding PBL funding and your interview request, I referred to the interview I had on Andile Sports Show and your request to contract between the PBL and the Eastern Cape. Contracts are confidential, and therefore I am in no position or obligation to provide confidential documents to you. That's what he says. Because we did ask him to say, if you've got this 30 million contract that you're saying the Eastern Cape government through the gambling board has given to you, can we see it so that we can run after them? Because then they owe Nomeva money.
Yes.
And Dixie says, no, he can't show us this. He says, secondly, after thoughtful consideration of your invitation to appear on the radio show again, I have decided to respectfully decline. I firmly believe that the resolution of this matter should occur through direct communication between myself and the affected parties, rather than through media interviews. So basically he's saying he'd rather carry on the way he's been carrying on the 9 years with you alone. The fact that you've got people speaking up for you, the fact that you've got people addressing the issue is something that is not sitting well with Dixie, obviously. But he goes on to say, my commitment to making meaningful contributions to South African boxing remains steadfast. I have consistently taken responsibility for the project and its outcomes. As part of this commitment, I have made a moral decision to fulfill the prize money obligation in the near to medium term. I don't know what that means. I am actively working towards resolving the issue with all affected parties, particularly with Mr. Xolisani Ndongeni. That's what Dixie's saying. That's the statement that he sent to us, saying that he will not be a part of the show. And, that's what he said. He doesn't want to be a part of it. Because remember my condition to say, be a part of it if you can provide us with proof. So, for instance, he says he offered your lawyers R500,000. I would have said, okay, Dixie, let's see that offer and let's see the decline. Those are the things that Dixie doesn't want to show me. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not saying you're lying, you're not. I'm just asking for those things. Nonetheless, he's not running away at all. And I believe so because he made us aware of the fact that we can get a hold of him last week. But this was him telling us last week that he's not running away from anyone.
I heard from a friend and colleague that I'm being discussed on radio. Can I go and listen? Right? I don't run away from anyone. Have not run away from anyone. Nomeva and I talk all of the time. We have a meeting even this coming Monday that's set up.
All right, so that's the meeting we spoke of. But now here was the crux. Dixie Ngula put this entire Premier Boxing League together based on a promise of 30 million rands that he says he got from economic development as well as arts, culture and sport in the Eastern Cape, which we're going to distribute those funds through the gambling board. Right? He says they offered him 30 million for it. Have a listen. I just want to know, is there an agreement, Dixie? That's all I'm asking.
Agreements. I mean, the monies were dispersed on the basis of agreements, Andile.
So there is an agreement for 30 million?
I've got agreements that pointed to 4.5 million out of 10 million, because the money was going to come in 3 tranches of 10 million.
That's what I'm asking. Right? So the 3 tranches of 10 million, there is an agreement that says, Dixie, we are going to be giving you 3 tranches of 10 million. Here's the agreement, sign on this. That was agreed with the department, and then the relationship is handed over to the agency. Well, we spoke to the agency that being, and we're hoping they're going to come on, but with what's happening at SOPA down in the Eastern Cape, it seems we're struggling a little bit with finding the parties. But they did send, and here it is in front of us. Yeah, you can see it, right? Dixie says that 30 million, right? In writing, in front of me now, from the agency, which is the gambling board. Mr. Ngula says the gambling board offered him 30 million to us. In a previous, he had said 10 million. It doesn't say in 3 years, it says in 3 trenches, right? Well, they're right to say, and I need to pull it up here where there's amounts to see exactly what it says. Mr. Ngula, representing PBL, wrote a letter to the Eastern Cape Gambling Board on the 14th of October 2013, requesting a 2 million top-up. In his letter, he mentioned that when the SLA was signed on April 2013, PBL was advised that it can request a top-up of up to 2 million. This is over and above what he already acquired in a PBL investment package that totaled 4.5 million. 4.5 million was all Dixie was going to get given. He requested a top-up of 2 million, to which the gambling board said no. The SLA did not make provision for a top-up amount of 2 million, is what the gambling board is saying. And then, can the gambling board confirm that it paid Mr. Ngula 4 million in 2013 as he states, right? They say yes. In fact, an amount of 4.25 was paid to the PBL against specific deliverables that were stipulated in the relevant service agreement. So that was the agreement to give of that money. And then they go on to say, we are not in possession of any document under the name and signature of the ECGB that commits to an annual funding of 10 million rands to the Premier Boxing League. It doesn't exist. That's why Dixie could not bring it here, Nomeva, because it does not exist. It does not exist. This is not me saying it.
Yeah.
Did they ever enter into a new SLA with the Premier Boxing League in 2014 with a budget of 3.5 million? Was the money they were supposed to pay him? They say yes. An amount of 2.8 million was then paid. This is going to what he was saying, to say he was paid 7 million.
Yeah.
That was the only money that Dixie was ever going to get. So I don't know where he was going to pay you from. Because Nangoku saqala 10 million was.
Yes.
So hence I'm saying, in the meetings you're having, are you being fed the truth? Because even now, he's still telling you about 10 million in 3 trenches. The Eastern Cape Gambling Board says there's never been such.
Okay.
And Dixie, you're more than welcome, as you did last week, to give us a call. We're more than willing to take the call. We've got an entire 8-page document here that comes from the Eastern Cape Gambling Board. We've got them on the line waiting, if you are so to come, to perhaps tell them that they are incorrect in their understanding of the SLA that you signed with them.
I think also, Brandile, abanye abantu that can maybe come to the space might be BSA, because as boxers we sign and pay BSA every year, so that we know we are protected by BSA in everything that we do inside boxing. So I think also Boxing South Africa angakwazi mhlawumbe ujonga in whatever that Dixie was saying, the money that is talking about, the 10 millions and 30 million before the PBL is something that was there for them to approve and say, okay, you can go ahead with this.
We can call, and we can do that to relieve you perhaps. But I can tell you now, I said it last week when I was speaking to Dixie from his answers. I've got it here in writing now from the Eastern Cape Gambling Board. There was never 30 million. There was never 30 million. And this is the 30 million that Dixie speaks of. Here he is now again on commitments made for 30 million.
The PBL, I designed it, and when I designed it, I knew that there were certain innovations that needed to come in. One, on the sports side, and secondly, on the commercialization side. First thing to do when the sport has had a blackout was to ensure that we had funding support, number one. Secondly, we can have a broadcast partner, and all of those things were arranged. Once we got a commitment from the Eastern Cape, because once I designed the idea, went to the Eastern Cape and pitched there at the Department of Economic Development at the time, right? And commitments were made for 30 million rand to be the sponsor of the project.
Numbers 30 million.
Have you ever seen anything at Tatangalo 30 million in front of you? When you sit there and the man is telling you, have you ever asked for anything to say, give me proof of this rainbow you keep printing for my 1 million rand?
So that's why I get. But I'm the city Tina, when we are in that situation, remember we are 16 boxers up, and I don't know, but I'm the one that is going to win the million. And at the time, I don't think about any contract and seeing anything that says that proves I'm gonna win the 1 million, because my mind is on how am I going to beat these people in front of me, so that I can get this million. And as the only thing that gives me hope is if they talk about it, they say it's there, and Boxing South Africa approves that, okay, you guys can fight. And Brad Dixie, as the promoter, is here saying that I have this, and we good to go. So I think all of us boxers, no one thought about asking Dixie to come, Brad Dixie to come with any contracts that shows that he's going to get any kind of money. We were hoping and also trusting that everything is going accordingly, because we know we have our Boxing South African board who's checking everything for us, making sure that we're going to be safe in the process. Yeah. So for us, Tina Ogweti, it was just to think basawubethana kanjani cha siphume.
And as far as your guys' payment is concerned,
yes,
the gambling board declined that, because they say here in writing, they replied to Dixie on May the 2015 to confirm that they are engaging with the affected boxers' attorneys to reach settlement. They requested, or Dixie, the Eastern Cape Gambling Board, to release the balance of the funding as per the SLA to pay the settlement with the boxers. The balance was intended for the delivery of Fight Night 1 and 2. However, and not for the purposes of settlement with boxers. In the circumstances, the ECGB did not release the balance as the purpose for which Mr. Ngula requested it was not the purpose for which the balance was intended in the SLA.
Andiyazi bona uthini mina. Into endiyaziyo uba yona imali ndiyayifuna and ndiyilwele kanzima, ndinethemba loba ugqiba kwam ukwenza umsebenzi wam lona ndibekele wona ndizawufumana imali. Yebo. So ewe ke if we look at izinto the way zingakhona ngoku, mhlawumbi umntu uzawuthi uba bekufanele uba sajonge ezo zinto ze-contract nentoni, but
I mean, I can imagine.
nabana ebekulo situation.
Hold on for 2 seconds. I want to take a quick break. I know the listeners of this show. There must be a law firm somewhere. There must be a lawyer somewhere. Let's take a break. Uti, wani kwanoni?
Ijek.
AB.
A big one, yabo. Like in 14 now, phambi kwegalam. And I'm like, yeah, life is about to change now. And abantu bayanzonda the cast because babona ne-million.
Where is the chick? Where is the big chick?
I'm sure yacha negalam because nandihlala egalini. Yabo. And
so apho wahlala khona kwacha?
Yeah. Nandihlala emkhukhwini, ndawushiya pha. Ndahamba. Yawo.
Nalo check phakathi.
Na check. Kaloku ndandisendiyibona uba ayitshintshi ibe yimali. So bakunzima yabo. Izinto ezininzi zazingasasebenzi kahle yabo, nengqondo ayingasasebenzi kahle. Because like I said to you, there was a lot of things andizicinga nasengqondweni yami. Ndandicinga nokuthi kubhuti wami masithengise le ndlu sithengile. Sibuyise le mali at least ndimnike yona, yabo. Because I gave my cousin imali.
It's like 60,000.
Yeah,
in the last fight that you had won,
yeah.
Yes.
Because ndiyayazi mosiba ndizawuba nendawo ndizawuba right, yabo. And then ngoku seyithenge indlu manje ndicinga uba anine cent and ndiyayazi uba imali ndiphise ngayo kubona.
086
ukuthi mebrakha ubuyise le mali yabo, kanye masithengise le ndlu ke at least.
Yeah. Also bomdombi kalungu.
Yeah.
086-000-2160 if you want to give us a call. Dixie said he will not be coming on the show. I do know he's listening. And I hope that he's got the humanity in him to come and help me address this. You know, to call now Nomeva alone and promise him. I don't know. 086-000-2160. 060-552-7303 is the voice notes. I'd like to take your calls and hear from you. Also, if there is somebody out there, you know, if there was a lawyer willing to help you, you know, who's going to say, we want to help, is this something you would accept? Or you don't want to do that to your friend?
I tried before, you know. Nayo yangenzeki yabo.
Why? What happened?
Apparently firstly because andiphumanga ngendlela right in that promotion that I had Golden Clubs. So after that I think things were not okay. So when I came back to them saying that I would like them to release my case and I give it to someone else who was willing to help me at the time, they said to me I will have to pay them I think around 60,000 rands to release the case, and I didn't have a cent at the time.
So the case files of this case are still sitting with your old lawyers.
Yeah, and I was like, again, because I'm now mad.
Because they're charging you now for work done.
Charging me for work done by them, and then namalo ikhupha lo case go. So yaphela kanjalo imizamo yami.
Let's speak to Xolani. Xolani is out in Cape Town. Xolani, you there? Mila in the Eastern Cape.
Gumla.
Oh, Mla. How are you, sir?
Ndiyaphila unjani?
No, right, man. Thetha nam nansi chap.
Yes, champion.
Tabla.
Excels it.
Great kanjani Tabla?
Right, akhondo bro wami. Yeah, I've been following the discussion for the longest time, and I know that it's hurting Nomeva as a person. And also I wanted to raise something, that it was not only Nomeva who won.
Yes.
Nomeva won the main prize. One of my boxers, Magazole Tete.
Yes, Magazole Samas.
He won 200,000, and we never got it. And I know Maputis Nyabinaye, in his group, he won 200,000. I can't remember others.
Umakwaka,
yeah. Think of it, I think it's about 1.8 million in total.
These are all the other boxers that never got their money either.
Yeah, they never got it.
And Nina Nyatata now takes.
I said it in a notice. Nomeva. But I'm just but I just wanted to raise it now so that.
No, I hear you, and it's easier. It's easier when I'm la. When I'm la about uti 200,000, it's fine, you know. But the million,
but the 200,000 is not easy.
It's not easy either.
It's not
no,
easy
for sure.
It's not easy to snap, obvious. I know.
Yeah.
That's why maybe I'm not mentioning them because they ask, but I'm like, if we are mere Puma and ABS,
exactly.
So
I don't know for the public. Buyers, it's is close to 1.8 million or so.
Cheers, Tamla, out in the Eastern Cape. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's go to Nest. Nest is out in Port Elizabeth. Nest.
Hello, Andile. What's up?
Hey, no, I'm all good, man.
Good, man. I just want to tell my brother here that I don't think there's money that he's going to get. This guy is a scaling on this one. And also, I think he's too soft, man, this guy. Yeah, he's too soft for his money. You see, these meetings, you're not going to get anything from these meetings. There's nothing solid that this guy's saying out of this meeting. He's going to keep on doing these meetings up until you all die. There's nothing coming out. So I wanted to ask something. What does the law say about this thing? If someone doesn't give him his money, what does the law say?
Well, I mean, you take somebody to court and you tell them that, especially when somebody's openly said that I owe somebody money, he said it on the radio, he said it everywhere that he's spoken, that is something you can go and collect. And hence I'm saying, if there's a lawyer who's willing to help here, this is an opportunity for somebody to do some good. This is an opportunity for a firm to do some good here, to assist Nomeva in collecting his money. If he has to attach things that belong to the Premier Boxing League, then so be it. And it's not just him, it's others as well. But ubuchomi phakathi le nto man.
Yeah, it's true, man.
All right.
Thanks, Andile, man.
Would you go that far?
We went that far. Dixie was sent a judgment and everything. Apparently, there was nothing found from a PPA.
What do you mean there was nothing found?
There was nothing found to attach.
There was nothing found to attach?
At all.
Yet you think you're going to get your money in meetings?
What is it that I can do?
That's a good question, Nomeva.
What is it that I can do?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. Those and Jilba Dilandelele, and the government is saying, yes, we did sponsor the tournament, but this is all that we sponsored the tournament with. Kangibeko yonke little and Gutixuba Kuko eat 3 trenches at 10 million. This is according to correspondence from the Eastern Cape Gambling Board, which was the agency tasked to see through what the two departments had given. And I see there's a question here from Mukabe Lowelikos. He says, hi, gents, did Dixie get money from TV rights and the audience? He should have paid some of the money from the no. He said on the show last week that he gave the rights away to ETV for free and paid for the production of the show. So, no.
Evening, Miss Andile. Dusan from Dubai. Yeah, welcome back to the country. Yeah, wish you all the best to the remaining of the season. Yeah, I think this case deserves to go to the SIU, I think, to be investigated. It can't be this poor man. They must be paying in his million, nothing else. Yeah. 9 years too much. Big up to your show.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Andile, Inoklana and a lady. Boxing SA, when Andile. Now, these people are crooks self. I think, and I'm definitely sure, Guti, badla na yelo tiksi lo. I'm definitely sure. First of all, let's say that imali leyo ikona, which is maybe 30 million leyo. Now, these people, men are sure Guti badla na alone, so that these guys are having next number contract and all those things. But now what they have to do, go in a ring, bashayane, who win an oil, my points now or whatever. Like some kind of a league, I don't know. But obviously, things like that will never happen.
I mean, we laugh, but we don't condone the violence.
Football, I keep it 80 million for a season. Cool. Yeah, anyway, yeah. Sharp.
Give me one more there, man.
Hi, Maanza and the team. I think the best way this guy can do in order for him to get his money, I need to send the dogs on Serious. Dixie needs to pay this money because the truth is out now. There's no 10 millions of trenches coming through. He sees all of this and then he's going to run away again because now he's no longer going to tell this guy anything. Yeah? The boxer already knows the truth now, and then the best thing for him is going to run anymore. There's no more lies that he's going to tell because he's been promising this thing. They also owe me this. They also owe me money as well. So that's why I can't pay you. So now he was paid in full. The gambling board has said that. So this guy needs to pay this guy. There's no way. R1 million, just imagine. Thank you guys. Simple from Abraham Fish.
Andile, that's my little brother, man. He will get his money, definitely. We just have to keep on fighting. He will definitely get his money. Dixie, he doesn't even deserve to be called Brad Dixie because he's a scammer. You know, I think he didn't understand the contract between him and the gambling board. But he owes these fighters. He has to pay. He has to pay them. He has no choice but to pay these guys. I hope he doesn't sleep at night.
Andile, Tinyiko here from Cape Town. A million lay, it's no longer a million because time has also lapsed. So therefore, this guy is probably owed more than 1.4 million or 1.5 million because it's been 9 years, and it sounds like ukhona nje umgunyathi owenzakalayo. So a person who knows that they are not hiding anything would come to the show and answer and provide clarity. Gishiap Tinyiko.
You know, Tinyiko, you might be wondering, why is it that Andile is not speaking about that? It's pretty simple. Ute indaba ze interest, you don't even care. You just want your...
No, I just... Yeah, I think I've managed 1 million. Baba right. Like, because it's been 9 years, so... Xa about interest ke ngoku izasoziphindi vele so yibo that is
complicated.
Yeah, sifuna nje.
I'm not going to say goodbye. I'm not going to close this because I promise you this is not the end.
Yeah,
I can see you're very disappointed, but in order to get to where we need to go to, we needed to find out, where are we? It's for men and Gogba. This is where we are, and the buck stops with Udixi.
Yes.
And I challenge you to come here and then tell me I'm wrong. But let's pause it here for now. We'll carry on.
Sharp. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nomeva there. It's not the end, like I said. Listen, we make steadfast work. We take our time in getting to the bottom of things and the truth. And we will do so again. Trust me. We're not going to let it go. Our brother needs help. Pela, and so on.